Alright, so we just got our first official teaser for Squid Game Season 3, and in today's video I'm just going to give you my theories and speculation about it, what I think is going on in this teaser, and what could it mean for the final season of this show, so please stay tuned. And now, before we actually get into the video, I'd like to ask you all to like, share, and subscribe. And again, thank you guys so much for the growth. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it. And I'd like to ask you all to like this video as much as you guys can. It helps a ton. But without further ado, let's get right into the video. Alright, so this teaser picks up right where we left off at the end of Season 2, and it seems like that the guards are bringing in a dead body, because of course we see that casket there, and a lot of people may think that this is Gi-Hun'S body, because the next shot right after this is Gi-Hun waking up in a casket, but I do not think that that is the same person, right? This could very well be Jung-bae, aka player 390, because he is the final death of Season 2, right? We know that he's dead because the frontman does kill him in front of Gi-Hun, so it makes sense that the guards are gonna use his body to break everyone else's spirit. And also because Dae-ho is there, aka player 388, so this would be a perfect scene to see him break down, possibly have a crash out against the guards, and because of course we know in the Season 2 finale he was having PTSD and he was too scared to fight, so this could be a perfect moment to reflect on that and for him to think that, yeah, because I was scared and also I didn't fight, that's why Jung-bae died. But this could also just be Gi-Hun in that casket, because the shot right after we see him waking up, and which seems to be in that same casket with the same wound on the side of his head. So it's very likely that the front man knocked him out. He put him in the casket and sent him back there to basically show everyone that they failed and their leader failed as well, and now they have to play the games, right? They have no other option to. And after this, we do get our first glimpse at a new game, and it seems like that the players have to go to a gumball machine and they have to spin it, and they get a randomized color. They either get blue or red. Now, I'm not sure which game this could be, but it is very obvious that these balls do indicate that blue is one team and red is one team. And again, like, you know, in the comment section you guys could enlighten me on what this game could be. At first I was thinking it could be human chess, right? It's just gonna be completely random, because before in the games we did see in Season 1 and Season 2 that the players got to choose what team they could be in, but it seems like here it's completely randomized, so it could very well be human chess because that was teased beforehand as well. And then we finally get our first look at the VIPs, and it looks like that they're having dinner in this shot. And of course, if the VIPs are there, then that means that these are the final few games. And it is very likely that somebody is undercover in there, just like in Season 1 of Squid Game. And it's most likely Jun-ho, right? He probably finds a way to the island. And also later on in this teaser, we do get an indication that they do make it to the island, and he could be undercover just like how he was in Season 1. And then we get our next look at another game, or possibly the same game that was teased before, and we see Gi-Hun walking down like some sort of maze or alley, and there is blood on the walls, and also there's blood on the ground. So this could be linked with that first game, because we see Gi-Hun wearing red and the person behind him that's dead is wearing blue if you look very closely. So this could very well be some sort of messed up game where the players have to kill each other, and maybe human chess and monkey bars and all those games were scrapped because the front man just wants them to kill each other. So it like, of course it adds a lot of tension, and the players are forced to do this, right? This isn't for the money anymore, or this isn't about saving other players. This is about survival. So this could be some sort of like messed up version of hide and seek or manhunt or something like that, where the players have to go through like an alleyway, a maze, and they have to find other players and kill each other, because in that shot before that we saw in the trailer, we see a knife. So it could mean that the players there are armed with knives, they find each other and they kill each other, which I think is the possible outcome. And because there are two teams, maybe it's team against team, or it's going to be turn-based where there are two players in this maze, and also we do see a timer behind Gi-Hun, so maybe it's a 1v4 or it's a 1v1, and the players have to kill each other, kind of like a gulag in Warzone. And then we get some more shots of the players, you know, getting their own colored ball. And a very messed up shot is that player 149 and her son have two different colors. So her son has blue and she has red. And if this is that same game where they go through the maze and they possibly have to kill each other, then that means 149 and her son are going to be up against each other. And of course, because this is the last season of this show, so there is going to be a lot of deaths, right? That is a given. So it's very possible that player 149 is going to eliminate herself for her son. Maybe she might beg her son to eliminate her, and when he does not listen to her, when of course he wouldn't want to do it, that's where she eliminates herself. And if this is a 1v1 type of deal, it seems messed up, but it seems like that the front man might put them up against each other, which of course is going to force player 149 to eliminate herself. And then the next shot we get is another vote. Now, I don't know why the players would get another vote, especially after what they did in the season finale. It seems like that the frontman would not allow them to have another vote, but because it's the rules of the game and because he wants to keep that stable and also give the players that option, right? It seems like that he will give them an option to vote, but because of fear, the players would not vote no, right? They would vote yes because they would not know what would happen if they all vote yes. Maybe the front man and the guards all kill them, right? Who knows? But I think that the players would not get any sort of option to escape. And then we get the shot of Gi-Hun handcuffed to the side of the bed, and by looking at his wounds, right, it looks like it's right after he was brought back, right, because he has the same wounds as the start of the trailer when he was brought back in from, of course, the finale of season 2. So it seems like that he's not able to vote, of course, and he's going to be forced to watch everybody vote yes. And also another possibility is that after the finale of season 2, of course, more people that wanted to get out, right, more people that wanted to stop the games, they were killed during that gunfight. So most of them were eliminated, and most of the people who wanted to continue the games, they were safe. None of them were killed. So maybe it's still a voting system, but the front man does know that, of course, the games are going to continue because the majority of the people that wanted to stay are alive. So it's just basically ensuring that the games are going to continue, and he's going to force Gi-Hun to watch that. And then we get this shot of the players being handed boxes, right? And of course, as the previous shot from Gi-Hun in that maze, these characters are wearing the vests, right? The blue and red colored vests, and they're being handed something in a box. I think that's their own weapons. Maybe that's knives in the box, and then that's right before they get into the game. So the way I see it is that they get a ball, they get a random colored ball, blue or red, and then they get their vests, and then they're handed these boxes right before they get into the maze to kill each other. And then we get this shot of player 120 up against the wall in the same maze setting, getting ready to fight somebody. So yeah, I know this is basically confirmation that this is a survival type of game where they do have to take out each other. And then we get this shot of Jun-ho, and it looks like that he is on an island. This is very likely the same island that the games are being held at, and he's looking up, and this could be indicating that he finally found the island, because the next shot right after this, we see one of the guards looking up at the island while it's nighttime. So going back to my previous theory of Jun-ho going undercover again, this could mean that Jun-ho finds the island after killing the captain of the ship, because we know that the captain is working for the frontman and he was misleading the group so they can't find the island. So it's very likely that in the start of season 3 he finds out what the captain did, and if that he's working for frontman, he kills him, and then he ends up finding the island. He goes undercover, and that's where he infiltrates it once again. And then we get the shot of guard 011, and she has a lighter in her hands and she is bloody, right? So it seems like that she finds out everything, right? And she sees for herself the room that they're confiscating the players' organs, and she decides to burn it down. And maybe it's very likely that she's the one to help Jun-ho get onto the island, and possibly she kills a few guards herself and she gets him the guard outfit, and he finally has somebody to work with him so they could both sabotage the games. And then we get this shot of Jun-ho with a gun, and it looks like he finally made it inside the island. And of course, this looks like where the VIPs sit. So maybe he guns down all of the VIPs. Maybe he just does that. He doesn't go in undercover. He just goes in and he starts shooting some people. And also in a scene before this, or in a shot before this, we see guard 011 with the same type of AR, right? And so this could be the same gun. Maybe this is, maybe this isn't. But I am leaning towards the theory that she helps him to get onto the island, and as soon as he gets onto the island, she gives him a gun, and then he goes straight for the VIPs. And also we get this shot of player 149 on her knees crying. So maybe my previous theory is false, and maybe her son ends up being eliminated, and it's probably not even by her. Maybe she's witnessing the whole thing. If it's a 1v1 thing where players, they take turns on each side to go down and eliminate each other, it's very possible that he does end up being eliminated and she's there to witness all of that. And then we get this shot of Gi-Hun in the dark with a red vest on, of course from that game where they're in the maze and they possibly have to eliminate each other, and it seems like he's getting prepared for the game, or this is right after he eliminates somebody. And then we get this final shot of player 222 crying, and you know, this could mean a lot of things, but the noise that we hear right after is of a baby crying, so it's very likely that she gives birth to her child during the games. And of course, her crying and the pink background, this could be the bathroom, right? She might do this in the bathroom or during a game, or this is right after she gave birth and the front man approaches her and he's pointing a gun at her. He takes the kid, and she really can't do anything about it. And also the previous shot with the Gi-Hun looking in the dark, this seems to indicate that player 222 and Gi-Hun are the final two players for the Squid Game. And if this has a bad ending, right, if this show has a very dark ending, then this could mean that Gi-Hun goes out sacrificing himself for player 222 and her child. But I'm leaning more towards the fact that the front man is going to take her child and he's possibly going to save her. This could be that scene, or maybe he might shoot her after taking the child. But yeah, you know, that trailer was very good, right? It was a small teaser, and this show is coming out the end of next month, so at the end of June. So we could be expecting a full-on trailer at the end of this month or in the start of June. So keep your eyes out for that. But yeah, I'm very excited for this season and where it goes. And also with this being the final season, it seems like that a lot of character deaths have been teased, and it's just going to be a bloodbath from here. But yeah, that's it for today's video. I'd like to ask you all to like, share, and subscribe. And again, thank you guys so much for the growth. Thank you guys so much for the support. I really appreciate it. And I would like to ask you all to like this video as much as you guys can. It helps a ton. But yeah, other than that, thank you guys so much for watching.